You're on the party line with Sara and Christy. This is I'm on the Phone podcast, where we're healing out loud, sharing culty stories, and laughing at the mess along the way. So grab a coffee, a bestie, settle in, and let's talk.
Okay, so a while back. By the way, this is episode 29, which I cannot believe.
That's crazy.
And we've missed some weeks in there, so we've been doing this a while now.
Yeah.
But like early on, someone asked about our stories about leaving. And I can't remember if they leaving like the cult or the church. Maybe it was the church, I think, is what they asked about.
Have we not touched on this before? Or at least
Not per se. Like we haven't told our stories of like specifically like leaving, just some of our stories and experiences while we were there, but not the whole like how did you get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And so I've been working on that to share today to start, because I don't think we'll get it all done in one. So I wanted to try to like a little different today to like kind of read what I've written, or at least kind of put together with a little help.
Yeah.
Just because like, you know how I can rabbit trail, like we can both rabbit trail pretty easy. Like
the worst.
Very easily.
Yes.
But it's been interesting just kind of going through it. And it helps being this far out from it, because I can like just see it better, like that, pulling back and seeing the whole picture instead of just being so lost and in it still, and just working through so much psychologically, like the mental health side of it has like it's taken a long time to get here,
right,
to where I can even articulate it very well.
Yeah.
So, and it's going on, it'll be 3 years this summer since we left.
It seems so much longer.
It does. It feels like it was a different lifetime, but it feels like I feel very separated from it now.
Yeah. So much has happened in that short period of time.
So much. And it's funny, like I still run into people that are part of it, and it's still weird in my mind, like a little awkward, but depending on who they are, how awkward I feel. There's like some that are still always kind and say hello and don't say anything about what I look like, or they're at least nice about it.
Right.
I honestly don't know what they think about it. I don't particularly care.
It's just so crazy.
But it's still hard to like break away from not caring what everyone thinks of you.
It is. Absolutely.
I mean, I would say that's hard for people in general, but like that in that world, you were just, and in mine in particular, I feel like even more so, you were just surveilled all the time and reported on your every move. Like it was like living in a fishbowl with a reporting team.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like mentally break away from that. So yeah, that's been interesting.
Yeah.
But here, let me pull up what I have. So I don't want to be overly like I'm just reading my teleprompter, but that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So it's kind of starting at the beginning of the end. If that makes sense.
Start.
So yeah, I feel weird just hopping into reading. Oh well.
No, don't feel weird.
All right, I want to start at what I now understand was the beginning of the end. We left Afton looking for safety, purpose, and a community that actually operated with integrity. What we found was something very different, even though it was kind of dressed up like that's what it was. The truth is, we didn't go in blindly. I had reservations because I knew that the school already had a reputation that I wasn't comfortable with, even from my childhood. I always would say, like, I would never go there. My husband, though, had no connection to anyone there. So he was kind of coming in blind as far as like the community and knowing people and just, the reputation and the stories, right? But it was still a Bible college, and there was this belief that maybe this time it could be different. And also, my husband could finally use his mind in a way that felt valued and not silenced or overlooked or even like almost ridiculed for thinking beyond our echo chamber.
Yeah.
So, ultimately what made us say yes was a type of trust, especially because our friends were there. And we had been part of introducing them to this movement years earlier. And I thought that they had shaped it into something better, a lot of safe.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that there was enough change that it was safer, safer, not completely. But, in some ways they actually had changed a lot of things, which one of the big things was financial stability of the school, which is still kind of, I don't know. So he had risen pretty quickly through leadership since we had met them and introduced them to, I don't even know what to call the CHM sometimes. Like, it's a parachurch organization, but when you say that, people's eyes glaze over and don't really know what that means. And it's just like this little sect of highly controlling fundamentalist churches, aka a cult.
Yeah.
So
let me interject for just a minute. Am I wrong? You can take this out if you want to, but am I wrong to believe that that particular friend, those particular friends, going into that situation, it brought them down as far as?
I would say, yeah. It
Because
changed them.
They're totally different now from when I first met them, before he even became who he is today, before they even became who they are today. They rose up in the CHM, but as far as their character, it brought them way down in my mind.
Yeah,
the kind of people that they were, you wouldn't find them anywhere today, it seems like.
Yes. I think, yes, it changed them for the worse. But there were, like, looking back, there were red flags there. Like, it just opened up that potential in them.
So they were always that going to be
given him in particular. Oh,
yeah. Well, Sarah, he's been a red flag for me for a really long time. Like, just.
Well, and of course she follows, even though she's a strong individual, very strong, like, but again, looking back, there are some giant red flags.
Yeah. His true colors pretty much came out in that whole.
It allowed his what true self to thrive, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you get put in leadership like that, and so quickly, to be honest, like
very quickly,
we introduced them to the convention, and I think within a year he was on the platform, which is hard to get to.
He just had immediate trust, Sarah. And it was
he has a certain charisma. He's really good at it. He's smooth.
He is a salesman for sure. Very much. But
it was like, it's like I introduced him to the perfect environment for him to thrive.
As a narcissist.
As a narcissist.
Okay.
Yes.
Now back to your story. I'm so sorry.
No, it's so true though. It's so true. And
I've thought about that several times, about how bad it got. And knowing, like, I knew them before they really rose, or,
well, I think you knew them. You knew of them because of us.
Them. Yes, I met them.
Which is so weird to me.
They were still traveling evangelist, and really liked them, and
everyone did.
And then it was just like, okay, I went to work there, and it was, anyway.
Well, so we introduced them to the convention, and they're like, next year we're going to bring our booth, because they were traveling evangelists. Like they saw a whole new circuit available to preach to, right?
Yeah.
And so the next year they brought their booth. So, okay. And then by the next year, so year 2, well, third attendance for them, but like 2 full years, everybody knew them. Everybody knew who they were. They kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people, because they did come out of nowhere.
They did.
And then by year 3, he was on the platform. And not long, very shortly after that, they were at our church for the umpteenth annual revival, in which we brought them to our church for a revival. That's how it started, because we met them at my husband's grandparents' church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were in revival there, and we're like, oh yeah, these are really nice people. We like how they preach and all this stuff. And he, honestly, he was a good preacher.
Oh yeah.
Very engaging, and really could tie a lot of things together that made sense. In a very, it held your attention.
Yeah.
And so we're like, we should have them to our church for revival. And it's I think the only time they've ever had someone as an evangelist without knowing who they were.
Mm-hmm.
It was just based solely on our recommendation.
Yeah.
So they had them to our church. Everybody loved them. And they stayed in our home for that whole week. So my oldest was had just started walking. So he's 8 months old, 9 months old. And my second oldest was a baby.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I hadn't even had her yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I had not had her yet. Oh my goodness. Because I was I know it was when my oldest had just started walking, and he started walking early, very early. So he would have been 8 or 9 months old in the fall. Okay. And they came back every year after that for revival. Mm-hmm. So that's we were there for 10 years altogether. So they came for probably 8 revivals before we had a history with them. And so the first year they stayed in our home. After that, they had gotten an RV, and they would set up right practically in our backyard, because our home was right by the church, and they would be in the parking lot behind the church. And so after everyone's done and over, they would come hang out with us, because we were friends. And my husband and him would stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning just discussing theology and doctrine and yada yada yada, all kinds of stuff. And I mean deep theology. And I like to listen to that. I mean, I learned a ton just from listening to them talk, because their conversations were just so deep. Yeah. And I mean, it was collegiate level conversation. Yeah. And he actually had started taking classes.
Your husband?
No, him. Evangelist. And so we became I looked forward to revival for that friendship. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We really enjoyed them. And their son is now married to that pastor's daughter. So, and he fell in love with her from the first time he saw her.
I don't know what she sees in him, but okay.
Well, I don't know. They're a match. But like we had a long history with them. You know, they came that first year, we introduced them to the convention because we're like, you ain't seen nothing yet. And there's this amazing giant mass choir and like, you'll love it, you know?
Yeah.
And so they came and they were blown away. And the next year they came with their friends in their booth. And the next year he was preaching. And then the next year they were there for revival again, sitting around our table and told us directly that particular college had invited him to be the president of the college. And I was in shock because I hated that place.
Yeah.
Like, even at that point, I'm like, this place is not a good place.
Right. Even back then, it was, yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, don't do it. But he was the type, he had said, you know, he had told God that whatever door you open, I'm going to walk through it. And he did.
Wait on God.
Yeah, minding God, minding the Lord. If you open an opportunity, I guess every opportunity means that you have to take it.
I was going to say, if you've been offered, like, oh my goodness, forget it.
Yeah. So they took it and we watched from afar.
Yeah.
For the next few years, I think 3 years.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think when we came, he was starting his 4th year because it was like 2016.
Okay.
Things at our church had been going sideways for some time and just like increasingly getting worse. And it had gotten so bad. When we made the decision to go there, you know, us looking for safety and integrity and having this years-long friendship with these people that we trusted, like it really made it seem like it would be okay.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. So let me kind of go back. So, you know, from the outside, that he had definitely influenced people. Like he's actually really good at that. And there had been some growth. I mean, because those people, I mean, their head is stuck in the sand.
Yeah.
But things had shifted. He'd like really made an impact on that institution financially. And honestly, what he did do was significant for their finances, because honestly, the school would not even be open if he had not been able to do that. But, you know, that influence is not the same as like a transformation. Sure, there have been changes, but there had not been a transformation.
Right.
And, you know, we didn't see that, and we did not understand that it had not changed enough. And actually, in a lot of ways, I think we told ourselves it was enough. And I honestly believe that, like, it was just like, I knew it wasn't, but it felt like to be anywhere but where I was better.
Yeah. I totally get that.
So
where you were had gotten so bad.
Yeah.
And you felt like, I mean, the church that you were in was just you guys' world. And that was all you had as far as like the outside. I mean, you guys didn't have any friends outside of really, or any social life outside of the church.
No, but that's again,
people.
That's part of why it's a part of what identifies it as a cult, because it's so isolating. Because you're not allowed to exist outside of that world.
You go outside of the church to extracurricular anything, and you kind of put yourself in the limelight for being judged on that particular. Yeah.
Well,
and it's an unsaid thing, like people don't really talk about it too much about that, but like they expect you to do your extracurriculars within the CHM. So like when you go to college as a young person, you can either be a missionary, a preacher, or preacher's wife. You don't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
And one school has the option to be a nurse. You don't have a lot of options.
No.
Outside of, like, unless you branch out.
Yeah, this has actually come up in conversation recently with my husband, like, and especially for men, like the intense push for you to be in leadership. And it's like, and they would always like talk about being a lay person. So basically a person who's not in leadership.
Yeah.
It was almost like, I'm trying to think even how to put it. Like it was okay to be a lay person.
But it was a step down.
But it was a lesser thing.
Yeah.
You were lesser if you were not in leadership.
And the thing is that the leaders couldn't survive without the laymen. I mean, like, what the heck are you talking about? We're just, like, the laymen were more important, in my opinion, than the leadership. But
absolutely.
They were pushing all of these young people to be leaders when these young people were not leaders. So you've got a lot of older people in leadership who should not be there at all.
Yes.
I mean, the whole movement shouldn't be there, in my opinion. But
there's that. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, so we came in with a clear understanding with our friend who was the president of the college that, as employees, we would be expected to follow rules, but we made it clear that we did not necessarily believe all those rules were biblical or definitive of sin, and made it clear that we would not proclaim that. If asked about it, that we wouldn't say, yeah, this is biblical, because we came in like basically saying, we don't believe all this stuff, but we're coming kind of for you.
Yeah.
Like, we're coming because we believe in you.
Yeah.
And yes, like we do need to go somewhere, but like the reason why we're choosing this place is because of you, because we trust you.
Well, and like you said before, you had the hope that they had made it better.
Yes.
Because of their influence and because of your relationship with them. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we were super clear about our boundaries. Like, it wasn't like questioned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we said we'd comply outwardly because it's part of a job, but that's it. We were not going to teach or affirm those rules as truth if asked. And that was that. And then, he came in as a teacher and I came on as, of all things, the dean of women.
Which cracks me up.
I know. And every person every friend I had, when I would tell them, they're like, are you serious? Like, they could not believe it. It was the last place anyone would ever have thought that I would be or do.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Like any other, there's two other places that I would vision you more suitable. Like that particular school. No, I never would have placed you there.
No. Sorry. This is a Saturday and my kids are all home, so if there's background noise, I apologize. This is just how it is this week.
I've got 6 kittens over here who might get up and start playing soon, so who knows how loud they're going to be. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. So anyways, he came on as a full-time English teacher for grades 9 through 12, so all of high school English. And, on paper, it definitely, and even initially, he was like a different guy. He was like happy and like fulfilled, and he had a purpose and felt like he was doing something, because of course, like, this is what we've been told is our ship came in, like
Right.
you get to be part of a Bible college and influence all the people and help them go out in the world and win the lost, right?
Yeah.
Like you're part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except they don't want anything to do with the outside world. Like literally, like parents would complain if community kids came in. They were concerned about community. And we're talking about, we're not in the hood. Like we're in the richest freaking county in the state. It is like unaffordable for us to live there, besides the fact that this school has been there since like 18 something. And they still own that property and had been offered millions upon millions of dollars for the property to be developed. And of course, they always say no. Like actually, there was a whole thing about that that was kind of hilarious, to be honest. But yeah, living there in that community where the starting price of homes was like in the 500s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the poor people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and it was just growing and growing, and they keep adding and adding, and they still are. Like it's crazy. And then there's us over here in this little bubble in the middle of town, being completely self-righteous and not wanting these heathens to come to our school.
Exactly.
Of course, that wasn't our feeling. Like I felt like they did everything they could to keep them out, and there were a few that came and had some positive experiences, which I don't know how they did that, but it's not my story to tell.
But I mean, if just a side note here, even if you see their application process,
yeah,
very cultish, very much like it would not fly if they were an accredited or if they are accredited apparently, but
well, no, the academy is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it wouldn't fly if they were a community college. Like
No,
it would be it's complete what do you call it? Well, it's just a cult. It's just and if you don't I don't even know what you call it. I don't even think you could call it discrimination. It's much worse.
well, I mean, do you understand that I was part of going over applications?
I didn't know that. Well, I guess you would have been if you were the dean of women.
Yeah, so I was on that committee. I can't think of the word, admissions committee. Yeah, I was all part of that because we would have to go over these applications, which they were interesting meetings. I'll say that.
Sure.
The maturity level of the other people in the room still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Everything was so filtered through their narrow-minded views.
I'm sure.
We had to read people's testimonies of like when they were saved and, stuff like that. And then of course, like looking at their academic records was necessary. And like, that's what colleges do.
That should be all that you do.
No.
Like, it should have never been about anybody's personal relationship.
Yeah, their spiritual relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, personally, I don't care what your personal, your relationship with religion is if you're coming there to learn.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a good student and you want to come learn and you have good character, sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of these were just kids, like, much like myself, that was, brought up in this world, and we all had 5 colleges to choose from, and it all really depended on how conservative or liberal we were within that bubble.
Yeah.
And our that community was on the more conservative side, maybe in the middle of those 5. probably in the middle, but definitely leaning to super conservative. Anyways, there was just some very interesting conversations that at this point I feel like probably borderline on inappropriate as far as like how they were treating people and talking about these people. And
completely.
Yeah. So anyways, whatever. Back to what we're talking about. My husband had for the first time feeling like he's appreciated, he's able to use his brain. I did not realize how good of an English teacher he was or how well he actually understood the English language.
It's so funny.
And I was just like, wait, what? Okay. And I mean, it still blows my mind because I'm so terrible at it. Like, okay.
Me too.
Anyways, initially it did feel like structure and stability that we needed compared to what we had.
Yeah.
But like in the first 2 weeks that we were there, like that first red flag that kind of replaced for me like fear and hope was someone, reported me like I'm a teenager. And it wasn't for anything harmful or illegal. It was for a video on a singing app. Two in particular, apparently.
Oh, it gives me I just get instantly tired.
I know.
You love this. So, like, I can feel it like all over. Anyway.
Yes. So one, and just so you know, like I don't share a lot of like my singing videos to my Facebook page because I felt embarrassed and I felt like people would think I'm just seeking attention because that's what I'd been pounded into my brain for forever, that if you put yourself out there, that means you're just being conceited and seeking attention, and it's never good. Right. So for me to actually share anything was rare. Even though that's literally what I went to school for, was to sing.
That's being a music major, that's what you were.
I was a voice major, and I sung in the quartet for 4 solid years and choir, like singing was my life.
And there's nothing wrong with using it. And it's just crazy. Like, definitely don't use it too much. Definitely don't think anything of yourself higher than you ought.
Like, know your place, you dirty, rotten little worm. Like,
it's so dumb. You're like the least conceited person too. And it's just like the fact that you had to be told this. Anyway, all right, please talk. Please continue.
No, okay. So, mind you, one video, because this got texted to me.
Oh, good grief.
Yes. One was a video of me singing Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. And the way this app works, which apparently they couldn't figure out, is that anybody can sing. So it's a lot of duets, right?
Yeah.
So anybody can sing their part of a duet.
Yeah.
And publish it as an open call for anyone who wants to join the other half. Right. And like thousands of people can potentially join the other half, right? Right. I mean, usually it's not thousands unless you're like, I don't know, world famous. Which they do have like international artists and national, well-known artists on there. But most of us are just little peons, like just having fun. Yeah. So this guy had sung this song. He was wearing a wife beater t-shirt, which apparently was also not in my favor.
He had an amazing voice.
He had a good voice.
He's a very good voice.
But because I apparently was interacting with him on a supposedly live song. And I appeared to be wearing makeup.
Oh.
That was the phrase that was used. I appeared to be wearing makeup. Well, because I'm on a freaking video in my bathroom, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know, like trying to keep my phone steady or in front of a mirror or something where it's going to like not jiggle around, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, I sang Fly Me to the Moon. I just joined this open call. This guy doesn't know me from Adam. I think he's literally from like Sweden. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I have no connection to this person whatsoever.
Yeah.
They thought it was a live recording. Because people, when they do these open calls, they'll just they talk to imaginary people.
Yeah.
Just to whoever is going to join.
Yeah.
They will sometimes do that.
Like, I'm familiar with the app.
Yeah.
And people have, like, my sister used to sing on there, and people would join, and she would talk to me about it. And mind you, she doesn't have anywhere near as good a voice as you do. And it's still, I mean, I still think she has a pretty voice, and she has, I mean, she did a good job. And I love to listen to that. Plus, I love to listen to your videos. So I'm familiar with the app. But what's so interesting is, like, probably, anyway, okay, that's another thought, but I might share it. Okay, so
Just share it.
Part of it, I wonder if some people thought you were like stepping out on your husband or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
You're singing a duet with this guy who is obviously not part of the holiness movement. I personally know this person. They obviously did not understand the app.
No. Oh, no.
Your part, and then they come in later. Sometimes it's a live performance, but then it's very
that wasn't even an option at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, there was that. And then the other video was still cracking me up. Okay. So sometimes rather than singing, people will do like little like scenes from like a movie, a show, or like Broadway or Shakespeare, which this one happened to be Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And it was one of his comedies, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, this part of the scene was this woman who, so a guy likes this lady does not like him back.
Okay.
But because she knows he's a player. And she doesn't want anything to do with him. But they're kind of like, it's almost flirty because he's trying to flirt with her and she's like, nah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so it was a person that I had interacted with many times, actually, because he was one of the few that had a like good voice. And like I liked how he sounded when we did duets and stuff. But this was spoken.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't even singing. And I'm just doing this part of a Shakespeare play. And I had on a sleeveless shirt, a black sleeveless shirt that came up to my neck. Like it was up here, up to my neck. But in the frame, the video frame, you could see like this much of my shoulder.
God forbid. Yeah.
God forbid. I'm not joking. Like a sliver. A sliver. Yeah. They didn't like that. And apparently they found the whole thing inappropriate in some way.
Please. It was freaking Shakespeare.
It was Shakespeare. It was funny. It was acting. And again, while I have interacted with that person, like just done multiple like duets, I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I just joined it and it was funny and
yeah. I think that
I didn't really think about it.
I saw you with duets. That might be the guy who I think has a really good voice.
Oh, no, it wasn't him. In fact, I actually haven't interacted with this particular one in many years. I'm not even sure if he's still there. But I got sent the links to those 2 videos. It appears you're wearing makeup and yada yada. Anyways, they wanted me to be fired. Yeah. They wanted me to be fired over this. Like, removed from my position. I'm not sure if they wanted Mark fired too.
And this was because you were the dean of women, right?
Okay. Yeah. Also, they had to scroll for forever on my Facebook to find these.
Yeah, they were looking for something.
They were just looking for something to come after me with. So yeah, I'm like, whoever did that was doing a deep cut on me. Yeah. Just to try to find something to be like, oh, she's not worthy.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so this is in my first 2 weeks. Like, we're just moving in, just figuring everything out. And so I was like so tense, thinking that like we literally just got ourselves here and they could be possibly taking it all away and we have nothing and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's the level of insanity I'm being presented with in the first 2 weeks.
And it's manipulation.
Oh,
it's severe,
absolutely.
Emotional, financial. I mean, it's like manipulation all ends. It's like the security is getting ready to be ripped out from underneath you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the president, who was our friend, defended me and told me about it, like actually talked to me face to face on this one. But he defended me and nothing happened. Like, obviously I didn't get fired. But that was like...
He was not ultra conservative.
Not at that time, no.
When he came there, yeah. So he probably looked at that maybe and thought that was a little...
Well, ridiculous. And this was stuff that was like months or years old. Like, this was stuff from before we came.
Before you even came to UBC.
Yeah.
Oh.
And most people aren't scrolling forever down my Facebook page to find links to rat me out on things that, hey, there is nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
Like,
there was
nothing.
A lot of jealousy going around because you were pretty new.
Well, there was a lot of bias towards us because we came from the top tier school in the next state over.
Yes.
So there was a lot of jealousy around us.
A thing between
coming, like, graduating from that school.
Not being alumni is so big.
Mm-hmm.
Such a big thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So anyways, so that happened like right away. And you know, because our home and our income and our stability, everything is like tied to this. It's, you know, it's so intense. And so, you know, we just waited. And, you know, the tension of not knowing. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it. Like, even now, just thinking about that is it's hard to like fathom that again. But it was like the first thing that happened, and instantly shifts the atmosphere.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, they're like, I already know somebody wants me gone. Mm. And they're to the point that they're like trying to find things.
I mean, talk about like yeah. And y'all were there for so long too.
Yeah, we were there for 7 years, 7 full years. So, you know, and obviously I saw how quickly things could be threatened and escalated over something minuscule.
Right.
So then, of course, we have our kids with us, obviously. Yeah. And one of the things that I was looking forward to was them having a school to go to with their dad being there at the school. So that would have been a huge relief because I had been homeschooling. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I'm not cut out for. I easily admit that. So it felt a lot like a provision, like a weight was lifted in that area or aspect. But then, like things started shifting again with kids. So at the time when we moved, my kids were aged 2 through 8. Mm-hmm. So like they're little.
Yeah.
And there starts to be these rumblings about like after school and during the summer about keeping the children compliant.
Oh my goodness.
And apparently I wasn't the only one, but I know that we were a big one because they weren't wearing their long sleeves during the summer and after school. In like the dead of, the summer.
And they were children.
They're kids.
Children.
Yes.
We're talking about college kids who have a dress code. We're talking about children.
Children. Oh, and flip-flops.
Good grief.
Like, I would wear flip-flops. I'm like, I'm sorry. I am not wearing full-on shoes in the summer when no one's here and everyone's doing their own thing. Like, school's out.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, they were already in long pants and skirts, like jean skirts or jeans or athletic pants just to stay a little cooler. But the other thing was, like, we were not the only ones violating these rules. Like, there was staffers also doing some of this stuff. And, yeah, but they really wanted to hone in on the kids every once in a while. Some people would say things directly to my kids, which I think is highly inappropriate. Like, they're children. They do what their parents tell them or allow them to do.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing is that all these rules around modesty are tied to one idea, and that is modesty to avoid sexualization or to prevent lust.
Yeah.
That's why they have these rules around long sleeves and skirts and your neckline and how tight a thing is. I mean, the handbook had stuff about even the type of fabric. You couldn't wear anything that had like sheer sleeves. Or it couldn't be gaudy in appearance. That's a direct quote, by the way.
I have no doubt. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And so, like, again, hindsight, seeing all these things, approaching kids about rules about like an 8-year-old or younger, and even like as they 8, 9, 10, being upset about little kids wearing short sleeves in the dead of summer. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. And so, I mean, I wasn't making them do it. Occasionally I would. If they went to certain places, I had to make them do it. As they got older, it got to be more of a requirement because they were getting more mad about it. But yeah, like putting there's nothing like having someone just reach into your family life and telling you what you can and can't do.
Exactly.
How you can and can't dress, even though you're not at school where these rules are. School's not in session, like it's a break.
Yeah.
And even it was even in the handbook that you were to maintain these rules even when you went home, like the college students. Even when you went home, you were supposed to maintain these rules because you were representing the college, which is such bullshit. Such manipulative, controlling bullshit.
It is.
Like and
it's controlling and manipulative, like all across the board. Doesn't matter. Now, if you're one of the elite, you're left alone for the most part. Unless something really heinous happens, and even then you're pretty much out of the limelight.
And it's so common
area.
Yeah, it's so common that people don't question it. They don't question the fact that they are being controlled, their autonomy is being ripped away because of this religious culture.
Yeah.
And system.
I remember one of the elite daughters coming to me about something that was very painful and personal to her. And she said that she really felt like that I would be objective or not judge her. And she needed to talk to me. And it was when I was in college. I had a lot of girls come to me because they thought I knew something, or that I didn't come from an elite family. And I was kind of known for being like having like a racy past, I guess, even though nobody knew really what I had done or not done. But I had just, and I remember her mother finding out about it, about what had happened, what she had done. Not even really that bad, to be honest, Sarah. And what she got mad about was that she had come to me and not to her. And that I was just not, I really just was not worthy to know that kind of information and to really even counsel her. And I didn't ask for her to come to me.
Right.
Honey. But she confided in me that her mother no longer wanted her to talk to me. And she was like 17, 18. She was in college.
Well, if she's in college, she's an adult, right?
Absolutely. But she was one of the up there families. And it was so embarrassing for her mother, and what her mother was embarrassed to even like talk to me anymore because I knew this about her daughter that was just so scandalous, and it wasn't. That's what
she's probably afraid that it was like gonna get out and then she would be mortified.
I think she was afraid I was gonna go and tell somebody. And to this day, I have not told anyone.
Right.
It was not my story to tell. I thought it was kind of funny that she thought it was such a big deal, to be honest. But I didn't tell her that, because it was really.
Well, but they made it a big deal.
They made it such a big deal, and I actually told her. I said, "This is not something that needs to keep you up at night." I mean, I did. I told her. I said, "You need to. This is something you can get past and move on. This is not a big deal."
Yeah.
Without trying to, I didn't know anything back then, but I was trying not to minimize,
Yeah.
But I said that to say it was like the elite coming across somebody who was not an elite. And this was like, this is their whole keeping it hush hush, no matter what it is. But even if it had gotten out, even if other people had known, it would have gotten swept under the rug. And later on, something bigger did happen, and it was swept under the rug, quite literally. And they are still, it was highly scandalous and a lot worse than that was. And they are, and actually two or three different things have happened, and all of them have been swept under the rug because these things, like, she still hasn't gotten correct, like, she still hasn't gotten the proper counseling for it to where she
hasn't got the help she needs.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to happen because she still hasn't gotten proper counseling, and it just keeps being swept under the rug. So she will continue to hurt other people, including herself,
right,
through this whole thing.
Well, it's because that cycle isn't being broken; it's being perpetuated.
It's not, and that's part of the damage, is that it's a continuous cycle. It
was super common for people with specific last names to get more like special treatment, or things would get swept under the rug and ignored. But yeah. So, anyways, moving on. So yeah, obviously, like, as I'm there, like, all these things are happening, and like the undertones are just there. Like, I don't feel safe. I feel like everyone's watching me, even if they aren't. But my experience is that they are, or somebody is. Somebody is. And it's, you just feel like you're so on edge to not make the wrong move, but also like somehow maintain autonomy and maintain your own boundaries into who you are and what you believe, while staying somehow inside of the system.
Right.
Just, it's not possible.
Right.
You can't stay. So anyways, I was the dean for just over a year and a half. So, or a year and a half, 1.5 school years. I did a full school year, and then the next year we made it all the way through Christmas. And then the day before school is to start again, so like that first week of January, the babysitting job that I had was they had to leave literally overnight. So I lost my babysitting job overnight. And again, this was due to shenanigans from the school, from this president and his behavior of treating people like trash and unfairly. They ended up having to leave, and I all of a sudden lost my second income, which we were both having to work 2 jobs to maintain, because like we're both bringing home $175 biweekly. So he's
word, Sarah.
Yeah, he's working a second job, and again, it's not like you can work full time a second job. And then, I'm just babysitting, so it's not like it's something. It's obviously helping. So they provided housing and utilities and access to the cafeteria, but even the cafeteria would shut down on nights and they wouldn't give you notice. And it was because there wasn't enough students to cook for or something.
What about the whole faculty and staff though that lived on campus?
Well, apparently that didn't matter. And then, they'd be closed on every break. So that means you all of a sudden are responsible for groceries for us, it was for 6 people, for a whole break. So, summer break, that's a lot. And then, so we qualified for food stamps, and that was honestly the only way we were able to buy groceries.
Absolutely.
The only way we could buy groceries.
Right.
So that got us through. I felt rich in food stamp food. But I
know what you mean. Absolutely.
It was literally it was the only way we could survive.
Yeah.
There would have been no food in the house.
Yeah.
And so, I liked to cook. I'm a cook. And as you're there longer and longer, the cafeteria food becomes less and less appealing.
Yeah.
And so, and then also just the rift that I felt between them and me got bigger and bigger. I knew that the admin and staff did not like me or did not approve of me, some more than others. But as we are well aware, they all will kind of be nice to your face and talk about you behind your back.
Yeah.
I had a lot more rapport with the students, especially the ones that knew me when I was still dean, and they had experienced my leadership, because I made it a point to treat them like the adults that they were, to not surveil them in order to have all these gotcha moments.
Right.
I'm not going to, and that's what they were experiencing. People were out to make sure they followed the letter of the law and really believed that was beneficial to a young adult.
Right.
And would eavesdrop on them. The stuff that these deans the lengths they will go to get you, especially the girls, to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
It's so Handmaid's Tale. so Handmaid's Tale.
It really is.
So I mean, I told them like right off the bat, like, hey, you guys are adults.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you learn to be an adult.
Yeah.
And I'm going to treat you like one.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I'm holding you responsible to your word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're responsible for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you come here, while we may or may not agree on all these rules, I don't agree that they're all biblical. And you may even, like, they would talk about them. They're like, this is crazy. This is silly. And I'm like, be that as it may.
They're rules.
You agreed to come here and abide by these rules. And it is my job to make sure that happens.
Enforce them.
Yes. So
that was,
I am trusting you to follow these rules. But if I see that you're not, then obviously I will follow protocol.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I could really say and be true to who I am and what I believe.
Right.
And it was so hard for me to do that.
I can imagine. Because, yeah.
Like, these kids weren't allowed to have, like, movies in the room. And, of course, this is the age of streaming, right? Like,
right.
Even if it's on their phone, supposedly they're not allowed to have or watch movies in their rooms. And, of course, you have the conscientious ones who may tell on themselves. And I find, which it's so crazy that they feel that in bondage about just watching a movie, and they watch pretty clean movies.
Yeah, I'm yeah. I remember. Oh my goodness, I remember those conscious girls.
I recently had a student tell me thank you because she had been really sick and stuck in her room because she was so sick. Mm-hmm. And she asked my permission to watch Pride and Prejudice. And I was like, of course. Yeah. Like, I will grant you that permission. Obviously, I didn't tell anybody about it. But I was like, you're stuck in your room. I love Pride and Prejudice. I'm like, I would invite them over. I'm like, you can come to my house and watch it. Like,
yeah.
And
Pride and Prejudice is harmless.
Like, oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, they could read a book racier than that. It's like,
oh my goodness, it was just ridiculous the amount of oversight these people felt they had entitlement to. And I remember asking the Dean of Men at the time why they weren't allowed to watch, like, why couldn't they? I'm like, this stuff is on their phones. Like, you're not going to stop them if they want to. Why is this even a rule? And he was just so like, but we can't control what they watch.
Exactly. And it was all about control. That's all it was about.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, but
they think
they're adults.
Exactly. Of a college.
That's up to them to figure out what's okay between them and God.
Exactly. And it's behind
like what their conscience is okay with.
Rooms that they are paying for, and they're paying a lot of money for it. So where do they even learn there was absolutely in college, it was like going back to elementary.
Yes.
And there was absolutely no trust whatsoever. So then when they left college, it's like they're floundering all over again. Some of them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like freedom, and they're just going crazy. And some of them were fine, but some of them were not okay after coming off of 4 or 5 years of that kind of college experience where they were not given any trust. They were not put out there really to make their own decisions. They
weren't allowed to grow as a human being. They weren't allowed to grow like in their understanding of themselves, of like their own autonomy, of their own values. Everything was put on them.
Yeah.
And so like they've never been allowed to exercise their own mental muscles of like learning who they are, of like self-control.
Yeah.
Of figuring out what's right and wrong, or what is okay for them to do and not to do. It's all put upon them and spiritualized. And then if you don't do these things, then you're going to hell. So then you also have the kids who see through it and who are like naturally trying to find their own autonomy as grown adults.
Yeah.
Getting in trouble for it because, I'm sorry, but who wants to sign it in and out like you're a toddler as to whether or not you're present? And I ask questions about that rule too. I'm like, why are we making these kids sign in and out? They're adults.
Get permission.
And they're like,
somebody on a date.
Let's not start on dating.
Sarah, crazy.
But yeah, like again, the whole thing with signing in and out when you came or went, was, well, we're responsible to their parents. We're responsible for them. I'm like, no, they're adults. We are not their babysitters. Like when they come here, it is because they're an adult and they are on their own. They are paying rent.
Yeah, they are. They're paying rent.
They're paying room and board.
They're paying more for
they have cell phones.
Probably at a place where they actually have a kitchen and a bathroom in their apartment. That's what's so crazy is that these. Anyway.
And you weren't allowed to live off campus by yourself unless you were 25 with permission.
Yeah, another control tactic. It's just.
Oh, absolutely.
They had to stay on top of you and what you were doing at all times so that they.
Well, and that's what they were trying to do to me. Yeah. I mean, because I left that position because I lost my secondary actual bringing home some real money to our home, so that I could like have the necessities, because we still had to pay, like, if we had a car payment, which we didn't, but like we had to pay for Wi-Fi, cell phones, anything outside of groceries, or, like you still had to pay a crap ton of money, and we didn't have it.
And your husband had a second job as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he worked too. Then he was teaching full time, and then they also, once he became principal, were requiring him to finish his degree, so he was attending school. Editing Sara here. He was not only in the role of principal, but also the full-time role of teacher still, as well as a second job, as well as college courses. Like night classes, all at once. We basically didn't see him. So
it's crazy, Sara.
It was crazy. Like, we did not have like a family life. Which is ironic because that's what they all preached you should have.
Yep.
So anyways, so it was interesting though, because once I got my first outside job, like that's kind of where everything started to pivot for me, because all of a sudden I'm in this world where fashion's important. So I was working at Lane Bryant. So, and then, like my coworkers ask, obviously, questions. Sorry, my kids are going upstairs, trying to be quiet. They're asking me questions about like why I always wear skirts and like why this and why that. And so I'm telling them on different occasions, like the stuff that's happening over there and what we're required to do. And they just look at me like I have three heads. And I'm like, yeah, I know how it sounds. And so as time went on, which I don't know, I think I shared my makeup story a long time ago, but like I started wearing makeup to work
Yeah.
So that got reported. Of course, I didn't stop. I'm like, I'm going to work. I am not under contract to you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not your puppet.
Right.
So I started wearing makeup to work. I worked there for, I think, 2.5 years, I want to say. And by the time I finished my time there, I would at work wear jewelry and pants occasionally. The pants, not as always, but a lot more. And I felt like I was this like rebellious teenager sneaking to school, you know.
That is hilarious.
And you know, the entire time I'm there in my contraband, I'm like terrified that one of them is gonna walk in and see me.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, oh well. So, but I went from there to a.
See you?
Huh?
Did anybody ever walk in and see you?
One lady did come in one time, but I didn't really know her that well, and I stayed out of sight or behind the counter. It didn't really, and she was a pot stirrer too.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I largely, I think, stayed safe there.
Yeah.
For the most part. So again, yeah, that was more towards the end where it got a lot scarier. Just, you know, wearing what I wanted to wear and was okay with wearing. Like, like I wasn't doing anything wrong. It was just against their rules, you know?
Yeah.
So then I went to the chiropractor to work, and now I'm wearing scrubs. And so then people were upset because I was wearing scrubs. And I literally would just wear them to my car, which, you know, I left my front porch, got in my car. We're talking like maybe 15 feet. Go to work, come home, walk that 15 feet back into my house, which, you know, my house happened to be in the center of campus. But I would wait until people were out of sight to go into my house.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the level of petty they were. So I'd go in my house, I would change back into my school approved clothes. I did start wearing makeup on campus just to go grab food. Not lots, but I would wear it. And of course they didn't like that either. But I just kind of, like, the longer it went, the more I was just like, you don't own me.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they thought they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
you do not own me, though.
They weren't even paying y'all enough to eat, let alone tell you what to do.
No.
Oh.
No. Like, it was not enough to survive on at all.
Even with your housing paid for, mind you, it was a crappy house for one thing, because I think just the mold was crazy.
Yeah. Well, the entire campus needed knocked down and rebuilt.
Yeah, it really did.
From all the problems.
But just the level of, Sarah, the level of just the audacity and the entitlement that they thought that they had over you and anybody who worked there.
Yeah.
Or went to school there. I mean, it's just mind-boggling that we even put up with it for as long as we did.
I know.
It is crazy to even think about. Like, I would not even stand to be treated like that now by anybody.
Yeah.
Obviously.
There was a term that someone at one of the other colleges had given to wives who wouldn't comply. Yes. I'm trying to think. It was like, hold on.
I am so sure.
Well, because in their mind, if you're married to someone with, like, again, there's a hierarchy within these positions at the college, right?
Yeah.
And the higher you go, the more compliant like your entire family needs to be, right?
Right. Oh my word, though.
And so once he became principal, then the noose got a lot tighter. for me.
Well,
And but there was someone. Oh shoot. Anyways, some other lady at another school also would not comply. Bless her heart. And they ended up making an exception for.
oh my word.
Where basically it's some sort of like non-compliance. And so they gave the excuse that he just has this obtuse wife who won't comply to their rules.
The term.
But we're going to allow you to stay on anyways because we love you so much.
Oh, please.
I believe the word is contrary.
I felt like that's probably what I was. Like, I heard about that and I was like, are you serious?
That is craziness. I love it though. I think that is so funny because that is so me and you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I know it made them, as time went, I complied less and less because it made me so angry that they were trying to do that. And the thing is that I wasn't even over the top. I wasn't like going to their events, going into their buildings, like just completely.
No. You were not in their face.
No, I was not in their face.
Anything in. You didn't have a rotten attitude about it. Like, no. When I met you, that's like you were right in the middle, I feel like, of the throes of being treated that way for a while by the time you got there. And I never got like that nasty attitude that I got from so many people who called themselves Christians, for way less of a situation than what you were going through. So yeah, you were not in their face at all. I remember the first time I saw you wear lipstick though. And it was at an event. Oh, what was it? And you and I were not, we were friends, but we weren't like as tight as we are now, obviously.
Yeah. Wait, was it like a neutral color lipstick though?
No.
No?
No, it was bright red. I loved it.
I'm trying to remember this.
It might have been around Christmas time, like at the program. So we were pretty close already. But we weren't like, obviously, I mean, we've gotten closer in the last year or two.
I don't remember this at all.
Oh my goodness.
Are you sure it wasn't for something else I was doing? I was in another.
No, you
Christian
were
group
coming from singing.
Yes, I was part of another church choir.
Yes, and
it wasn't anything to do with them.
Mm-hmm. That choir, and so you were coming from that. So you were dressed in all black.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember this.
This red lipstick. I mean, it was gorgeous, and you looked gorgeous. But I remember just being so proud of you because you just walked in there like, you came to the program like that on campus. And I was just, at least you were in the coffee shop talking to me, when I worked there. So, but it was at the event and it was at night.
I was required to wear that lipstick. That was part of like the uniform. Yeah. And I think that's why I was like, if they get mad, I'll just tell them, well, I have to do it for my performance.
I just remember thinking, anyway, I just remember just being like, that is so freaking cool.
Yeah, that must have been really towards the end. I don't remember coming on campus in it though. I usually tried to.
Well, at least you were in the coffee shop. I don't know that you might have gone to the event that was going on, but it was in the evening and it was after your performance.
Yeah. Huh.
Anyways,
I'm trying to think. I just know that like towards the end, like I was only wearing scrubs and I had like isolated myself on purpose because I didn't feel safe going out on campus.
Right.
I just went to work and I came home. I was a mom. I had obviously 4 kids. They have homework and they have stuff that they're doing, and I'm still have to cook supper and take care of everything. And I just started almost completely avoiding all the events. And I had told my husband, like, listen, I'm not gonna comply if I am not going to one of their school events.
No.
If I go to an event, I'll wear the uniform and I will tone down my makeup.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop that completely. And I feel like this is me being extremely generous.
Absolutely.
Because I am not their employee.
Mm-mm.
And they do not own me.
Right.
Like, you cannot legally require me to do this.
Mm-mm. Nope.
And you can't, like, threaten someone's home and living over what they're wearing.
Right.
And I'm not, like, being lewd or immodest or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's mind-boggling to think about the level of control they felt entitled to over individuals in their own home, off of campus.
Right.
Because their spouse was employed by them.
Right. Yeah, it is crazy. It's like, okay, just pause here, Jason.
Sure.
Got here.
Oh.
I have until about 4:00, by the way.
Oh, yeah. What time is it?
Which is 3:33.
Okay. No, that's perfect. I'm actually I'm gonna wrap up really quick and kind of leave it for next time. Because that's when things start really taking a turn for the fun stuff.
Woohoo!
Yes. So anyways, I was working at the chiropractor, and also it ended up being a very toxic environment, but I learned a lot.
Thaddeus, what are you doing? I feel like the slaps are moving further away. Oh. Pretty much the worst person at hide and seek. I think we confirm. You might have to backtrack a little bit.
It's fine.
Come in, bud.
Oh, I'll hurry. I don't have lots left.
You were at the chiropractor.
Yeah, so I had started working at this chiropractor. Also turned out to be a pretty toxic environment as far as like the boss. But I learned a lot and I made some really good friends there. And it was also one of those places where I had come to the point where I was like, I have to either stop complaining or find another job, because if I stay, clearly nothing's going to change.
Right.
And so I forget why, but I had like, I was looking for a massage school. Somehow that came up. I was doing a lot of massage type work at the office, like all these extras, like neck massage and stuff. Anyways, I have like worked on people since forever, like as a teenager, and always wanted to be a massage therapist, but I never did. And I was searching online and I found this school like in our county that was like sounded really good. And so I scheduled a tour and went on this tour, ended up signing up for school on the tour. Cool. I was not expecting to do that, but the schedule was so perfect. Like I could have done it and nobody would have known it. Yeah. If I didn't tell them.
Right.
And and they had financial aid, which I could not have done it without. So I signed up for school and started classes the first week of January of 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. And along comes March. March of 2020. And like the whole world just went crazy.
Oh.
COVID.
The COVID. Oh. Oh, shoot.
It was something. Ironically, the people who felt so entitled to control everyone's things they put on their bodies didn't like other people telling them whether or not they could wear a mask.
Oh, well. Yeah. I remember.
Or should wear a mask. And they all revolted. When they got told what they had to wear.
Yeah. They didn't want to comply to those rules.
No, they did not. But anyways, I'm going to kind of like stop there because after this, it starts to get really, really crazy after this. This is kind of like the breaking point.
This is sort of like
come back for part 2.
Yeah. This is when it starts to really come together.
For the rest of the story.
Tune in next time.
Yes. So yeah, that is like kind of all these things that are happening up to this point is just a lot of cognitive dissonance and starting to come face to face with it. Like even at Lane Bryant, I remember specifically saying to one of the people, and it felt like a physical blow in my body when I was like, I do not believe any of this, but I have to do it or I'll lose my home.
Yeah.
And like that realization that I was being controlled at that level with that type of consequence for things that are minuscule and they don't mean anything.
Right.
But they had put so much value and projected so much into it and moralized it.
Yeah.
And it was nothing.
Right. And it's like their life's mission to control people. That's pretty much what they do.
Yeah.
But God forbid the government have some rule, and I'm not a fan of the government, and I'm not saying that, but it's just so ironic, like the attitudes that came out of just that one. So I can't wait to hear the rest.
Well, the big pivot starts after this. Lots of things start happening all at once.
And that was right before I came.
This is the year, 2020 is the year before you came, because you came in 21. We'll wrap up for now. It's Saturday as we're recording this, not our normal day to record.
Nope.
Yeah, all my kids are here, and there's a couple guests, and I'm taking up their space right now. And we also have some plans that we're doing. We're going to a mall here in a little bit. So that's going to be exciting. I love malls that are alive. I wish they would come back. They need to make a comeback. Malls are great. But anyways, we will continue this next time. And then after mine is done, we get to hear Christy's.
Oh, help us. I got to start working on that.
No, I'm excited.
Mine is quite different.
Yours is very different from mine. But it is. We all want to hear it too. So anyways, Thank you all for listening. We will see you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening on the Party Line to I'm on the Phone podcast with Sara and Christy. Join us again next week for more stories about our pre, post, and mid-culture life. Thanks for listening.